Hi, welcome back to Tao of Twang. I'm Dave. So, this is a follow up to the lesson a couple of days ago entitled Creating a Groove Space. And the thumbnail says Groove Meditation in purple letters. So, the idea there was it was kind of a listening exercise. If you watched that lesson, right, where we listened to this track and we kind of, you know, paid attention to the bass and drums in a really, intentional way, and then kind of sat back and kind of comped it out with them like we were playing in the band, not just kind of playing over a backing track, so to speak, right? And let me know if that helped. That was kind of a different approach. Now today, I'm just going to show you some ideas, mainly triad-based ideas here for jamming over this with single note stuff and a little bit of scale stuff too to kind of tie the triads together. But we're just going to jump right in here. Now, if you didn't see that one, just real quick, our chords are, there's three chords. Wait for it to come around here. It's C7, B flat, F. Okay, so they're all major, which that's going to be handy because any of these triad shapes that we're using, we're going to be able to move them around for every chord, right? In other words, if this is C major, it's C7, but when we say triad, we're just concerning ourselves with the root, the third, and the fifth, and so the triad's going to be the same no matter what extensions we put above those notes. That makes sense? If not, don't worry about it too much. The important thing to note here is that they're going to be interchangeable. We're going to be able to move it around. If this is C, move that two doors down, it's B flat, right? Okay, and I'm going to show you right away here, along with that triad, one diatonic note or scale note that you can add there is the next one up when you go up. So the triad is. But you can put that note, hammer it, and you can bend it as well. Now that, we've done this in other videos with other kinds of grooves and progressions and things. It's one of my favorites because it's just so versatile. Check this out. Okay, isn't that cool? That's what I mean when I say something that you can sink your teeth into, something you can use right away. If you turn this video off right now and you just run off and you're like, man, I got some buried treasure right there. I'm just going to do that. That would be awesome because there's an endless amount of ways that you can exploit that. Okay, those same principles. The more you practice that, the more mechanically at ease you are in your body when you're doing that. It's like you're learning, you're training. Even though you're just using that one shape there, you're training all of the skills in your mechanics that are going to be used in everything that you do. Okay, so here's a little example of that, a little look into the future. Take some other triad shapes. Okay. and the bending. All right, here's a couple more. All right. Now, a lot of those are just the same notes as the first one I showed you, but in a different octave or using different strings and things. See, so that demystifies part of it right there too. But the reason you want to practice them in different shapes and different string groupings is because when you're moving around, you're not just using triads, you're using scales and things, and you want to be whatever neighborhood you land in, you end up in, you want to have some of those at your fingertips, right? This all takes time. But what I just told you and demonstrated there kind of quickly is a little universe of, popular guitar style playing right there, especially the part related to the use of triads. Now, scale-wise, what's going to work out here? We're in F major. Okay, I like to look at this as C mixolydian as well. And I won't get, off on too much of a tangent here, but the reason for that, I'll use some examples rather than just, explaining. When I went, and in that demo that I did at the beginning of this lesson, I went something like that. So I started with like a C triad. B flat. And then I guess it's the third of that F, right? Now that's very mixolydian sounding in the context of C being the root. Right, that dominant, that flat seventh sound, okay? Again, if all of that doesn't mean that much to you right now, don't worry about it. Don't get hung up on it at all. But those of you who are like, oh, okay, yeah, I hear that dominant seventh sound there. You can really do some cool stuff with a progression like this by, and you got to do some, some digging around to see like where that's going to fit in well and so forth. But it will in certain places. But you don't really want to look at this as just being a C position thing. But if you blend that with this, with these chord tones, where I'm on C, B flat, and A, the third of the F. So if I plug the triads in, okay. Now, I know there's a big leap from, what I started off here showing you and what I just played. But don't worry about, you know, requiring yourself to play all of that. Don't drive yourself crazy with this stuff, but just see it, step back from it, and just look at it as like an overhead view. Oh, I see, now some of that, I'm not sure what he was doing, but I can see there, like, oh, yeah, he ended up on. You can see those shapes, you can see those triads. You don't have to be able to name every note of it to be like, hey, I see what's going on there, and start working out your own versions of that. Um, Let me know how this goes. This is a little bit of a different approach. Watch that first video because it really just kind of acclimates you to this groove and this feel and this jam style. If you like that, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up on the channel in that vein. Appreciate you as always. Take it easy.